Alright, so here's the video that I was talking about in my short I released, and it's about me making a pathfinding algorithm that finds a, a path from one destination to the other. The original idea was to find the shortest path from one destination to the other, but I didn't feel like coding a bunch of math into the game, and I was lazy, so I just kind of cheated and made something like this. It was like finding a destination from here to here, and instead of going right around this corner and over here, it pathfinded over here and like that. Here, I can demonstrate. Let me just break a little hole in this wall so they can go through. So, the way it works is, well, to use it, is I do function path create to create the starting point. It's an emerald block, and it gives you one of these destination things, which I have way too many in my inventory from testing. And you can just set the destination, and then you would run function path find destination, and it could not find nation for some reason. Oh, there we go. That was weird that it didn't do it the first try. There, now it worked. I don't know why it didn't work the first time. Well, but yeah, it makes these. I changed it so instead of the lapis blocks that were in my other video, it's these little things that are on here. They're invisible armor, baby armor stands with a concrete block on their head. And it makes it kind of look a cool looking trail that when you walk near, it kills them. And it's just a little path all the way to the finish. So, it's when I say a tutorial, it's kind of me just to skim through the data pack because it's a small data pack, but I don't really want to go over typing the whole thing from scratch in front of you guys. So I'm probably just going to skim through it and tell you how it works. But so let's get to that. And also, if you don't know how to create a data pack, you can just watch some data pack tutorial videos. I'll probably come out with one soon. But you can watch people like Cloudwolf or Legitimus and how they created one. Those are people I like watching. But yeah. So in the create, that's where we're gonna start. Is it kills all the armor stands that might be for some reason still in the world that are used in the pathfinding, which will have the tag open, destination, pathed, start, and finished path. And it's going to execute from the player because they ran it align XYZ, so it aligns to the center of the block. And if you don't know what any of this stuff is, maybe leave it in the comments and I can try to explain it to you or watch a video on this. But and also I did get this pathfinding idea algorithm from another video I saw, which I will leave the link in the comments to this. It's not Minecraft related, but it's a cool video. So it executes at the center of the block where the person is, and it summons an armor stand that has open, the tag open, like we saw here, and it is invisible, and it does the same thing with one named start, and is also invisible. And it gives the person an armor stand, which will, when placed, will have the tag destination, and this is optional, the display name, destination, but when they place it, that's where it will pathfind to, and then it will execute at open, and set block there, the emerald block, which we saw. And then the find destination thing, which is oh no, oh, whoops, I, sorry about that. There we go, fixed it. Alright, so this is a recursive function, there is a max length, so since it's recursive, if there's no possible way to the destination, I don't want it to get laggy and crash the game from an infinite loop. So, and especially all the entities it's going to be spawning. And so it has a max length, which I can set in the game using scoreboard players set dot pathfind, which is the name of the player or fake player. Set its max length and the, sorry about the caps lock, max amount of blocks it can search. I think I have it set to like 1,000 or 1,500. But yeah. And you can see when you run it, like how many commands are being ran, like 12,124 from that recursive function. It's running a lot of commands. But, so in here, it's going to add to the length of what it's searched 1, and then it's going to execute. Okay, so we don't want to get into this because that's when they have the tag safe. And right now all we have is a one named open, start, and destination. So right here it's going to execute at open and at them, and then if the block below them is air, they'll TP themselves down. So this is like if they're falling or pathfinding downwards, it's going to just real quick TP them down. And if they're, and then later down here, if there is still air below them, like they can't go anywhere, it kills them. So they can't go there anymore. So here, if the block next under them is redstone block, kill themselves, because that is a thing used to search. I know that's not the best. Like if I had a floor of redstone blocks that's trying to pathfind across, it wouldn't work. But I'm using blocks to make it simpler, and I'll probably change that in the future. But it will kill them if it does that, and we'll get to that in the future why it does that, and same for the emerald block. And I already went over this. Now here it's at them, and it fills where they are after it's done all that, an emerald block, and replaces air. And then as all the entities that tag are open, if the block at them is a redstone block, run data merge entity yourself closed, which that will only happen under a certain condition, which we'll get to. It's all in a weird order, but it's supposed to be that way. It has to. So as all entities named close, which if they're the redstone blocks. So basically, here, let me make like a demonstration. Get a redstone block and a green, or I don't know what things are called. What block is. So there's going to be the start, and let's say the destination is over here. What it's going to do is it's going to start here, and in the direction of where they are, it's going to replace this with a redstone one. It's closed, it's already been checked. That one does not have the destination in it. And it's going to place blocks all the way around it like this. I don't think, only under certain conditions will it place the corners like that, but we're just going to do that for now. And then it's going to pick the closest one to the destination again, repeat this pattern until it gets all the way over, and here, just pretend that's all filled in with blocks. And so it's going to have like this pattern. It's going to pick this one and just come over to here, and then it'll have the destination. And then after that, it played my little animation, destroyed all the armor stands and the emerald blocks, did that blue thing, and we'll go over that in the future. But that's basically how it works. And if we go over that once more, but there's a wall, which is the hardest part of finding, or of pathfinding algorithms, is getting around walls. Is if we have a little wall here, it's going to get all the way down here with all these emerald blocks, and it sees it can't go anywhere because there's no more emerald blocks. Sorry. And it's going to have a pattern like that, and then it's going to pick the next closest, which will probably be this one, make it red, and then make the next closest, which is one of these. I can't really tell, but we're just going to say that. And then it's going to pick this one, which will place more emerald blocks. And as soon as it finds that edge, well, once it gets to, let's say, this isn't the closest one, it picks this. It's going to place more, then find the closest one, place red, and then it's going to see its destination all of a sudden, causing them to be red, and then come over here and then find the destination. Kind of like that pattern. And it's the red things represent checked paths that know that that is not there and that they can't go there because they'll just get stuck running into the wall. So they make sure it doesn't go back there. And the green ones are unchecked ones that are far away or maybe used in the future. But yeah, so see how it, and then the way I do it is it's going to place an armor stand. It's going to use armor stands to detect the blocks, of course. But it's going to have, every single time it places an armor stand at each of these green ones, it's facing its origin, which is like the red block it came from. So all these will be facing this one, these ones will be facing that one, and so on. And then once it gets to the destination, finds this one, places lapis, execute the one it's facing at, and then it's just a path of where they're facing at, and it all leads back to the origin. So that's kind of the thing, the way it works. And the video that I talked about where I got the idea from has a lot more math involved, which will find the shortest path, which in the end it would end up looking like this, coming across and going over there for the shortest path, instead of wrapping around this corner and then going back. But I'm lazy, so I did not code in that math. But that's sort of how it works. And then, so the open ones are the green blocks, and the closed are the ones that are red. So, where were we? So we made the person close that path. Alright, here. So since we haven't done anything with open yet, we're going to finally get down to here, like the first one. And we have the destination, which is limited equals 1. It just picks a random one. And at yourself, and it tags the closest one that's open, which is a green block, or an emerald block, and the nearest one, and adds safe, which means they're already checked. There's nothing there. So at all of the destination ones, at yourself, unless there is a sorry, I can't speak right now. Unless there is a guy right on their block, which means it found them, like the destination would be this one. Unless there is a green block at this position, which means they found it, it's going to check if its length, of course, doesn't exceed the max length, and then it's going to function this whole thing all over again because it's recursive. And then, of course, if none of this is true, and it'll just stop where it is and it's found it, or if it's exceeded the length, it will check if it's exceeded length and then run this function, which we'll get to afterwards. So, but afterward, it made it safe. So now we get to these tag equals open, tag equals safe. And it run fills, makes it a redstone block. So it's checked. And now it's checking all the possible places around of the block, because it can go upwards too. So it's going to be checking like a 9 by 9 block, like under it too, to go downwards, all the way around that to check if there's any spaces it can travel. And it places, says if block is right there is air, then it summons an armor stand that's open as well, and has no gravity and is invisible, and does that if block there, and keeps doing that until all the possible places around it have an armor stand. So, well, that's a lot of ifs. But anyways, once it's done that, it's going to add all of them open in case it placed it, like even if there was air, let's say there's a block right there, but there's not a block right there, they still place the armor stand there. It still places it there, even though there's nothing to stand on, and then it TPs it down. If there's still no air, or if there's a redstone block under them, like checked, or an emerald block, which means they're already taken, like there's someone placed there. Like at these ones, if it places someone up here, it'll just TP it down from gravity, and then if there's an emerald block or a redstone block, it kills itself because it knows that's already checked, and it can't climb itself because there's nothing there. And then it's gonna check if it's still falling, like there's no air, there's still air under it, and kills it, and then places the emerald block. And then yourself, if the block, yes, so if they're checked, and the safe ones, I should have just said tag equals safe instead of if block is redstone block. But it says it makes it closed, so it changes it from a open and tagged one, or an opened and safe one, to a closed one. So it's no longer using that. And then it executes at all the closed ones, unless all empties tag equals path, which we'll get to in a second. Distance equals 0, which is in the same block. Run summon Minecraft armor stand right where it is, the closed one, a path, which means once it's all done making that pattern, which it eventually will get to, how is it going to find the way back? Well, at each of these redstone blocks, it's going to place one called path, and it's going to be facing its origin. See right here. At all entities path, when TP yourself, facing all entities, tag equals path, limit equals sort equals nearest. So, and then it's going to execute all entity, every single entity named path, run data, merge yourself, and it's going to make it a path since it's doing that. So there will always only be one path entity at a time, and it will make it face its the closest path entity, which will so once this is closed, it kills the closed armor stand, makes a path armor stand, and it's going to face the nearest one, which at this point there will be no nearest path because that's a destination. There's not much you need to backtrack, so it won't do anything. Then it's going to make it pathed, and then it's going to do the same thing here, make a path, but then it's going to face backwards, like I was talking about how they're all facing back towards that, and then that will make the path for the future. And it'll kill all the people in redstone blocks that have been checked, and then it'll repeat all this over and over again. And that will create the pattern that we need with looking something like this. And the reason you don't see the emerald blocks is because it runs this thing called done, is at all the paths, which are the redstone blocks after the function, at yourself, which, wait, why, oh yeah, right, we need to go to the loop function first. So at destination, at yourself, TP yourself facing entity, all entities, tag equals path, sort equals nearest. So the destination right here, wait, where's our I guess it's somewhere over here. It will be facing the closest red block to it, which would be this one, or if for some reason it's wrapping around here, I'll just pick a random one of these. But it'll be facing towards that always, its closest one. And then it's going to, at the destination, if there is an open one, like right here, so that means it actually, the destination is an invisible armor stand. So since this red block became one, it placed the emerald blocks all the way around. So it would place one right here. So now it checks, then that would mean it found it. So it checks if there is a all entities tag equals open, which is the emerald block. The armor stand marks an emerald block, an open one. And it runs path destination. So what that does is, as all entities open, at yourself, fill air. So this one clears all of the emerald blocks to make it look nice, kills all of them, and then it's going to unbless block. So it's going to start. Alright, one second. Alright, so once it's found it, it's going to, unless there is a lapis block where it's standing, it's going to place the redstone block that's facing at in front of it, or below it, or above it, like that, with a lapis block to mark that it's being pathed back. And then if we go back into the loop, and then at the path ones, which are these redstone blocks, which are now lapis blocks, the one next to it, if block is a lapis block where it is, it fills where it's facing, which is back towards the, which will lead back towards the origin, a lapis block, like that did. So it will, if it senses a lapis block here, they're all facing back towards where they came from. It's going to check, oh, there's a lapis block where I'm at. So it looks at the one it's facing at, places one. And it's going to do the same thing. Oh, there's a lapis block. Until it goes all the way back from where they came from, all the way over here. Now, what happens when it gets to here? So we're going to find that out. So it's going to place the lapis block. And then the start, which is an armor stand placed right here, it detects at all entities the path, which is the nearest one to it, which will always be the one it just placed, the one right in front of it. If there is a lapis block right next to it, which means it got there, it's going to run path done. And the last thing in here is a finished path at yourself, OP. So I forget where the finished path comes in. Is that Oh, those armor stands are sorry, the little baby armor stands that have the blue block on their head that will be the final path. It kills. Oh, well, yeah, this is just a loop. This actually can be separated. It has nothing to do with these. It's just detecting always at those little armor stands, and if a player is within one block of them, it kills them. So that doesn't really matter. It's just for looks. So the path done is what we're wondering. I'll get to the destination later. Well, actually, we already went over destination. Never mind. So once it's done, it's going to get all the path ones, which are in the redstone blocks. It already cleared all the emerald blocks. So it's going to fill air, remove all of the redstone blocks, and then add all of them. If there's a lapis block, it's going to summon the armor stand that's called finished path with the blue concrete on its head. And if you want to get cool NBT things, I just memorized the NBT for these things. But if you want to get cool NBT things, you can go to the misodes.github.NBT generator, I think is what it's called. But it's a cool thing that you can just type in what you want. And slash give generator for NBT and stuff. But yeah, and summon. It has all kinds of cool stuff. You go check that out. But then all of them, it destroys the lapis blocks because there's already armor stands marking them, and then it kills all of them. And then now it's all done, and it looks the way it does. So hopefully you got all of that, and I wasn't talking too fast. I was trying to get through it quickly and not make this horrendously long like some of my other videos. But I hope you guys got that, and I think that's it for this video. We're just gonna test it out a few more times. So we're gonna create one. It'll have that first emerald block with a. If I go to F3 like that, there are actually two armor stands right here. Sorry. Which will be the start and the first open one. So, and then we'll just use our thing that we actually made over there. Just make a little wall like this. And then put our destination over here, and then we can do find destination, and look at that pattern it made. Doesn't that look just like the little blue pattern we made over here? Well, a little bit off, but still. Sort of. But anyways, and yeah, that's how it works, and then this technically the emerald block is where you started, and then it just kills them when you get within one block, and then you can oh, what is on my head? Sorry about that. I didn't even know that was there. Well, I will see you guys in the next video. See ya.